In the next segment of our event, we will try to understand how the technologies like IoT, data analytics, data science are important and feeding on data, and how data science is playing a role in the transformational time we have ever seen in the history. We will also try to encourage more young talent to build their career in the respective fields. And the most interesting part is that we will going to hear the inspirational journey of the three women leaders in their respective fields. Now I request our host, Dr. Apoorva Palkar, to take control for this segment. Thank you. Extra mic.
Three eminent women that we just saw some time back, and they were felicitated by none other than Shri Koshiyari ji, the governor of government of Maharashtra. So that speaks the volume of the work that they've done. I would not like to devalue their work because they've already been awarded at various places, and they've accomplished so much in their lives that I'm really glad and happy and excited to be with them today this morning. Welcome all the panelists. Today, Jaya Panvalkar, who is here with us, Suchita Dhere, who is with us here in person, and Sujata Tirak, who is online with us from United States. Just a small backdrop of what is this discussion all about and what are we going to be talking to these eminent women that in fact, when I saw their profiles, I was also envious of the achievements that they have done in their lives. So backdrop of the field suggests that women account for 55% of the university graduates worldwide in the STEM subjects. But when we look at the kind of careers that these women have taken, we see that a lot of them may be in software development, but very, very few go in for a career in data science. So that's really the sorry state of affairs. Having said this, a little time ago, we mentioned about the fact that more than 90% of the data got created in last 2 years. So much of raw data is available today. And I think this is one of the vibrant areas which requires a lot of significance to be given. And why not women, who contribute to 49% of the population of this country. And we're talking about the fourth industrial revolution, which is where we are seeing that the physical, digital, and biological worlds are blurred. And technologies like artificial intelligence, robotics, Internet of Things are emerging. And data, I guess everyone will agree that is the next form of currency. So that's becoming so significant for all of us. Having said this, today we have worldwide, it's not even India statistics that I'm sharing with you, only 31.1% of the women are data analysts and only 21.4 are data scientists. So what is significant and important is not that the women have to be in the space, but it's also important for the women to grow in their careers and take up leadership role, which is also very significant and important. So if we say that data is going to be the currency, what will the economy look like if we have this whole economy moving without women in them, or in a very minuscule manner if these women are going to be with us? I think that's going to be a real challenge. So we will start off by speaking to the eminent panelists that we have with us. We have Jaya Panvalkar. I just gave a small introduction of her some time back, which was in Hindi. So here, Jaya, I have a question for you. So you've been a data scientist and been in the leadership role for many years. And with your personal experience as a woman, you chose to be in the field and developed your acumen over your working career. Could you share how did you plan this? Actually, in the early years of your career, how did you go about planning this? Do you feel I saw that you've been exposed to a lot of international institutions in your study career as well, working study which was going simultaneously. So do you think that helped you develop a very strong professional? Over to you, Jaya. Hello.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? Okay. So I'm really thankful that I have got this opportunity to work. I have been in the computer field right from 1975, where I developed a data acquisition system. Before that, the people used to measure temperature across 50 point by putting 50 thermometers at one place. So how much data would be collected over there? And right now, I'm working in the area where we are having autonomous vehicles, where there are lots of sensors, they are moving on the road without making accidents, and at the center point there is huge video data is very complex getting collected. So I'm going beyond even IoT is definitely part of it because the sensors are there, but autonomous vehicles is very large data. So Apoorva has asked me about the leadership role and my early career development. One of the things I will tell you is that what helped me throughout is to be a student. I worked with circuits with 8 transistors when I graduated in 1972. And in NVIDIA, I was part of development of silicon chips, which were having 8 billion transistors on a chip. So this journey, just considering the silicon development, so many facilities were incorporated. Your mobile phones are supercomputer themselves. They generate huge amount of data, which is difficult for you to manage yourself. So basically, learning throughout the career and developing yourself is one thing that put me into leadership role. I'm not talking only about technology. I'm talking about really feeling your self esteem very high, be ambitious, set goals of what you want to do next, and do hard and smart work. Be open and direct, take calculated risks. I remember one of the opportunity where I was asked to go from hardware to software, where we 10 of us were asked by the director to take it. None accepted, but I accepted. And I entered from hardware into software, and now with NVIDIA, both I worked on hardware and software. In mobile phones, I worked on early year camera phones, where it is in 2000, where even Samsung phones were not available. So we gave software to Samsung, Motorola, Palm, you name a company, and that center was in Pune. NVIDIA was so impressed because of that they acquired us, and I became the head of the center. So one of the things is that develop your acumen not only in technology, but also in your mental aptitude, and look forward. Don't set your glass ceiling very low, set it very high, and keep looking up and above so that you see your glass ceiling going up and up.
Great. That was a fantastic way of putting things. Instead of breaking the glass ceiling, she's saying put it very high. So have very high aspirations. I think that's a great takeaway for all the women and also the men who are listening to Jaya today. We are joined today by Sujata Tirak online. Welcome, Sujata, to this program. You've been a thought leader.
Thank you.
I understand you're a thought leader in industrial Internet of Things. And I know I'm very glad and surprised, glad as well as surprised, because you work for companies like Alpha Level and KPI10 decided then to have your own venture. So what was the trigger point for you to have made this transition from a cozy, cushy job of working for someone to becoming a leader in your own space? Sujata.
So I'll first take this opportunity to thank C4I4 for considering me for this honor, and thanks to you, Apoorva, as well as your entire team for putting together this program. Now coming to your question, see, right from the beginning, I was very confident, thanks to my parents. I never thought of myself as being anything different or anything less because I was a woman. So I ventured into fields which were male dominated, went into plants, did on-site work, and never gave it a thought or never thought it was anything special, right? So when I was working in KPIT, I got an opportunity to start my own company. I always wanted to be on my own, develop products about which I was passionate. And so taking this leap into being an entrepreneur was quite natural for me. And to tell you the truth, when you are young, you think you can do anything under the sun, and so you just jump into it. And I did. But being an entrepreneur is not easy. It's very difficult, and nothing prepares you for the challenges that you get. But then I had an excellent team, and my company's co-founder and my husband Arvind, he was with me right through and a pillar of strength for me. And together we went through all the challenges and created a product way back in 2012-13. We created a completely indigenous industrial Internet of Things platform called Plant Connect. And I'm proud to say that today we have more than 1,500 installations of this platform. And we are one of the leaders in environmental monitoring space, where we are helping government of India and all the state governments to reduce industrial pollution in India. So yeah, and being an entrepreneur was
If the third panelist, let me introduce Suchita Dere to you. Suchita, you have been a really passionate professional, I think, in the area of Internet of Things, smart cities, villages. You have worked on the analytics, and you've been working on cutting edge technologies all your life. And I can see that you've been doing a lot of pro bono work as well. So you have, of course, all the three panelists have gone into the pro bono work now, which is the contribution that you've been giving to the society. How do you see yourself motivating and promoting girls? Because that is what is the passion that you have of motivating girls to get into this profession. How do you see yourself doing that for the girls and women? Repeat that for a minute. So, Suchita, I'll make it a little short now. So, you've been passionate about IoT, smart cities, villages, and its analytics, and you've been working with cutting edge technologies in consulting. You've been doing a lot of pro bono work in this area. How do you see yourself motivating women to be in this space?
Thank you, ma'am, and thank you, C4I4, for inviting me here. So I think the way we motivate, so as you know, WITS is a community learning based initiative. We are working for last 4 years in the city of Pune, and we have mentored around 400 to 500 interns in analytics and data science, 75% of which are students, and remaining 25% are working professionals, people, men and women on job break. So I think the first important thing we do in motivating is making learning very fun based, gamified, you know, every event, every training, workshops which we do, they are very engaging, they are very participative, and the audience, the students, the learners are involved in that. Okay, and people learn through associations and they connect very well with us. So we have done some very unique programs using Lego serious play, design thinking, and these are workshops, so people immerse in that. They have told us, oh, we didn't realize the day is over, we didn't realize that 5 hours are over, because it was so fun. And many of them had done this, used this kind of techniques for the first time. So we believe that learning should be fun, it should be enjoyable, not stressful or something like that. I think that is the value we are constantly driving, and this definitely motivates our engineers to come back to us again and again and stay connected with us. The second important thing we do is we focus on building the confidence, self-esteem and identity of every participant. Anything they do in WITS, they have freedom to choose, try, experiment, explore. They are not discouraged. And every activity, whether it is a small blog or a video or a film or a talk or the speaker opportunity they get, we encourage them, appreciate them, we give them visibility. And each and every person I feel who has worked for WITS in some way or the other has got a lead opportunity from that opportunity. And which has encouraged them so much to do more. And then after that, it's a chain reaction. We don't have to do anything, because the appreciation and visibility has so much of power that you feel like doing more. Once you are appreciated, you feel like doing more, I think these are some of the important factors. And WITS is a very inclusive community. So although, we have lot of programs to empower women, we have 50% of men also in everything. We have volunteers, we have interns, we have organizers, and men equally participate, because I feel that, men are a big part of society and we want to be very inclusive. Our youngest intern is 18 years old, our oldest intern is 60 plus year old, and they are learning data science, they are trying new things, they come help us in execution of our activities, and we are consistent throughout the year. We do personal mentoring, we do coaching, whatever the help the woman needs to reach to the next level in her career. Everyone is at different stage. So, we classify the problems into three things: induction, retention, and growth. So induction alone is not enough, because, we need to help them retain, because they should not drop out due to any other issues. So this has been helpful for us.
Great, great. I think that's something very, very important for the women to be able to get a platform where they are able to build up their confidence and aspiration building. That is what is really missing in the society, and that's required for men and women alike. I think you're doing a great social service by providing people with a platform, because all the time the people to tell you that you're good for nothing. So I think this is a great deal of work that you've been doing. Sujata, I come to you now with a very specific question. We've all been women professionals, and most of us are confined to the work that we've been doing, which is like the job maybe that you do, or probably if you're your own enterprise, you just confine yourself to that. But I see that you're also taken a transition to get into the professional space, professional organizations. So I see that you've been a volunteer leader for ISA for almost 10 years. How has that experience helped you grow? And do you really suggest that people need to invest their time in some professional organizations like this, Sujata?
So I have been working as volunteer leader with International Society of Automation for last 10 years. And I'm very glad I took that step and I joined ISA. This is a standards organization working in industrial automation space and now in the Industry 4.0 or IIoT field. What I find is my work in ISA is both rewarding for myself, and I'm able to give back to the community in which I'm working. So I am currently handling position of district vice president for Asia Pacific district, where my role is to facilitate all the ISA activities, facilities for our members in Asia Pacific. I'm also a founder and first director of Smart Manufacturing and IIoT division within ISA. And this division has been in operation for last 2 years. And within a short span of 2 years, we have done some good amount of work for our members to introduce them to this or to transition from automation to IIoT and to understand this field. We have also done the work to convert some of ISA standards, not the division, but ISA. ISA is a standards organization. So we have adopted a lot of ISA standards to IIoT and so on. But talking about my experience as a volunteer leader, it's been really very rewarding. You get to meet so many diverse people. See, when you are in your job, you meet the same set of people every day, right? You work with them, you meet your customers, but in a professional organization, you meet people who are working in similar profession but with very diverse background. They bring very different experiences, and you learn from each and every one of them, whether they are senior to you, whether they are your peers or they are junior. You learn from them, they learn from you, and it's a very I would say equal environment, where everybody is learning from each other, everybody is sharing experiences. And as a leader, you get to organize so many things. We organize conferences in Pune. We have been organizing for past 4 years, and these experiences are very different than what you would get in your professional job or in a company. Of course, you have a lot of opportunities to expand your technical horizons as well. You understand what's happening in the world. Like sitting in Pune, I know about projects and initiatives that are going on in, let's say, Houston, in an oil and gas refinery, or somebody doing something in a shipping industry. What are the cutting edge automations which are happening, lights out automation, let's say in Sweden, and so on. So you get a lot of opportunity to improve your technical knowledge. You get a lot of opportunity to do leadership and organizational abilities, and you network with so many professionals, in your own field. So definitely I would suggest to all the professional men, women, everyone, to invest time and join such organizations. And these organizations need you. They are always looking for leaders and volunteers, so who will take their mission forward. So definitely invest your time. It is worth it, and you will never regret any of this.
I think it's a great way of career transition for women who want to get into this particular space. On what Sujata just now mentioned, it is just not about taking a math or a data science as a specialization or learning, but also getting into a career and then progressing towards leadership and then in the professional space. I could be the last person on earth not to agree with it, having myself led an association at a national level. So there's so much of peer learning that you really do in the professional
Yeah.
space, which can really not be learned in your own organization. So it's important to move out of the organization. Of course, you could also be helping and supporting the policymakers in that particular space, with those kind of associations. Jaya, I come to you now. Jaya, I'm really impressed the way you have kind of spanned your career in NVIDIA, where the whole world was looking at you, the kind of work that you've done. You have now actually the chairperson of a very important institute, which is NIT Surat. So being a chairperson of an institute of national importance, what have been your observations? So you've always probably dealt with men and women both. So how do you see the contribution of women to the overall success of your organization that you led? I see that there are more than 100 patents that got created in NVIDIA when you were there. You yourself are recipient of a few patents. How do you see that as a leader for various organizations that you've been in?
Okay. Let me come to the patents first. We started our patent process when I was the Chief Technology Officer of Pace Soft Silicon. Why it was named Pace Soft Silicon? Because we were writing software which was very near to the silicon. It was really residing on the silicon. I'm basically an electronic engineer. 1980, I did my computer engineering. Then I had special training on automation at National Research Council of Canada, and that really helped me develop myself into a multifaceted engineer. That time when I was doing it, the engineer was not supposed to be only doing the work in his field. Civil engineers were working with me, mechanical engineers were working with me, hydraulic engineers were with me. So the leadership to combine all the people from the different domains was important. So similarly, when I went to NVIDIA to lead that, the patenting which I did at Pace of Silicon was useful. And I realized that there are so many IITians which we have selected, as you said, that the good technical institution, they have a lot of spark. But when they used to talk with the high technology person in NVIDIA across the globe, especially in USA, with their knowledge, with their capacity to do the products, very high product. NVIDIA is a company which is really Forbes highest, fastest developing technology company of the world for many years. So they were not confident enough. So I started a technology development board in the center. And I made sure that these engineers come over to the board and explain their new ideas, explain the new things, and they have cross questions. So we called it as the technology board. And then we started a forum called Innovision. So they will come up with the product ideas from the innovative part of it, which started getting into the patents. And we had the students, then there were students actually, they're new college grads, developed into something which they really started feeling confident about for their ideas, and they started applying for the patent pool. And then it really happened. And I have myself have some patents, so I could guide them in how to get the idea and how to write it down and how to get the help of the lawyer to write what concepts you have, because lawyer and technologist, they don't match very easily. So that way the development happened, and all these engineers now are really doing wealth-wise, satisfaction-wise, technology-wise, extremely good. And there are some ladies also in those. So I'm very happy for developing some of the managerial thing. And going for the VNIT, I found out over there that the students are really good, but they are not guided by the professors properly. Because professors were lagging behind getting into the technology area than the students. So there was a computer center which was very small. We developed it into a supercomputing center, because when we say about data sciences and huge data and big data, you require crunching machines or you require intelligent machines at the back of it. And if you don't have the capacity to do that, it's not done by the small systems. So as a part of National Supercomputing Mission, where I'm the chairperson of one of the core groups, we gave NIT a supercomputing center, and there and then it was managed by the electronics and computer group, but was used by all the engineers. We started computing lessons, computing syllabus for the people from hydraulic engineering, from mechanical engineering to do their FEM modeling. So the fear is related to going into that domain experts are now utilizing. I met one of the person from IISCR. I can see now with the NSM, now they are working, all the domain experts are working on the supercomputing mission, and they use it for lot of large data.
I think that's a excellent take from what you're saying, that it's important to develop thinking skills. So when we speak of patent, be it in the industry or be it at the education level in a BTech program that the students are doing, what is really important is how do we build their thinking skills. And I think that is what is the basic skill that you've been able to inculcate in your teams, be it when you are leading it as a managing director or the executive director, or when now you are on the board. I think that's very, very important for educational institutions also to take forward, because it requires a different kind of gut to think and put it on paper and show it to the world that what you've done is extremely different, So that is what is this country really requires. Yes, this is what is that the country requires. And I think that's where I'm coming to the next question to Sucheta. Sucheta, where I'm really excited when I look through some of the reports. LinkedIn is saying that, the emerging jobs and top 3 jobs in the world, not only in India but in the world, are going to be in the data space as the role of data scientists. And so how do you see the country would encash on this great opportunity, because there is a threat with an opportunity and a challenge. So I'm not sure whether the country is really prepared to take this up. So what are your views on that, Suchita?
I think definitely the country is on the right way under the right leadership. So if you see, we are moving from classical governance to e-governance to data-driven governance. You can see that in the recent budget also. Okay, so there are a lot of changes which are taking place in public sector, which are data-driven, which are digital. Second thing is, our population, our demographic dividend is our biggest power. We are very rich in data by virtue of that. So there are a lot of areas, I would say that imagination is the limit. There is no sector because, AI, ML and data science are verticals. There are no more verticals, they are horizontals. They get across every sector. Okay, our personal interest is, my personal interest is in AI for social good. And, especially, let's say, example of smart cities, where, the technology will ease, improve and raise the standard of living of every citizen. The second thing is, the second principle which we follow is taking everyone along. Technology is a boon to people who are left behind. The rural India, the senior citizens, the orphans, the illiterates, the monoglots, differently able people. Technology can be boon to them. So I think the normal course will go on, the country is prepared, but the technology should reach them who need the most. And it has this technology specifically, not cutting edge, I call it bleeding edge. So I think the tremendous power of the technology to scale, reach masses in the fastest way, and the personalization that it can offer, it is just humanly impossible. So I think definitely the power will be harnessed. And the second important point which I want to raise is about the contribution of women. So as per some of the surveys, there are around 3 million women in India who are highly educated, engineers, double graduates, MBAs, and they are sitting at home. And there is tremendous shortage of skills right now in this technology. Okay, every company is hiring and they are coming to us and we don't have resources. So I think these women need to come back. They need to have a platform where they can get back in touch with the industry. And there is another research by SBI which says that if these women come back, GDP will grow by X amount. There is a research by McKinsey that every working woman creates 2.5 new jobs. And that is how, the GDP improves. So I think one method of encashing is definitely, the whole ecosystem empowering these women to come back because they are highly educated. This is like top of the ladder. This is a very cream of, skills which are required for this technology. It is multidisciplinary and it is very demanding because you need to constantly learn.
Sure.
And, constantly upgrade yourself. It's never ending.
Sure. So that is really a very important point that you are making here, that the need is tremendous. But again, we go back to the core of the problem. The core of the problem is why are women or girls not getting into this space willingly? So a lot of times there are myths around this profession, whether am I really cut out to get into this kind of data science, or is this very theoretical? Can I really become an AI expert? There are a lot of myths around it. So some positive, some negative myths. And I think as Jaya has been dealing with academic institutions as well, so I would like you, Jaya, to kindly put some light on this aspect of some of the myths that women have around this as a profession.
To me, one thing is there that at this time, Sucheta mentioned that there are so many ladies who are sitting at home and want to come back. I see that there are many of them, they want to come back, but they don't want to take leadership roles when they come back. They don't want to take and learn very many new things and spend their time on learning new technologies every year, because the technology is changing every 2 years. So you have to be very much updated. They have their social background, social aspects, home background, which is back of their mind. And I will tell you, the support from the house also is only to work many times, not to move ahead. Today, actually, when we were discussing, my husband is here, Pramod. And right from the day one, when I was started with my career, because very few ladies were there. Most of the committees, I am the only lady. And he used to give me so much support, not by doing, of course, he was doing many, many things, but giving the support to push me to go and learn new things. If I am sitting at night and learning new technology, he will say that. So, what did you learn the next day? If I say some male chauvinism which come across and which is natural to come, he'll say that go and look into the mirror and have your confidence and go back. So, I think that kind of support from society is also very important. And that is still not there when the women are coming back. I'm very frank with you. And in that, some of the girls still try to push it. And then, after certain time, they really get the support from their families. So here, the war is for on the two fronts. One is to learn new technologies, and another is to find support from society and other things. So that is basically, I feel that that is the crux of the things.
I think that's been the story for all of us across the board who have been in the leadership role. Probably I have also gone through a similar kind of a structure where there was a point in time when my daughter was in standard 7th and I was a director of an institute, I told her, should I quit the job? Now you're going to be nice. She said, no, mom, you can't leave the job. I'm very happy to tell my friends that my mother is somebody. So it's like when you become a somebody, so that transition from a nobody to somebody is where the support is really required. And once you become a somebody, then there is everybody outside the world also who is willing to help you and support you. So I think I come to one very, very delicate part of the discussion today, which is based on gender, and all of us, I think 4 of us, though I am just anchoring this session, a lot of times I'm able to relate to what they have been seeing. I saw a small interview of Sujata, and in that interview, she mentioned about the fact that in College of Engineering, Pune, she was the only female in the class. So, Sujata, how do you see this gender bias? Does it any time come in your life? Probably you were very progressive in terms of taking up probably your College of Engineering, Pune, where you took your engineering degree, being the only women there. So what has been your experience and what is it that you would share with women today?
Yeah, sure. So you take me way back to 1980s when I was studying in College of Engineering. But I would like to thank my parents here. They brought up me and my sister in a way where we were never, felt anything less than, my brother or any other, men in the household. So I never really gave it a second thought when I chose this branch, and when I came to know that there is no other girl in the class, I'm the only one. Some of my friends were very. They were asking me, why are you taking this branch? Take something else. I said, no, I want to take this branch, and my decision is not going to be dependent on whether there is any other girl in the class or not. I want to study, and I want to study this. So I just went ahead, and I'm very glad to say that all my friends in my class, all the boys, became very good friends of mine, and I really had no problem. And if there were see, one thing I have learned, if you want to do something, you just go ahead and do it. Don't fret over small irritants or small experiences that you get, because you are going to get all kinds of people in this world. You just pick what is good. Just ignore some of the negative things that come your way, and you continue. And when you show others that you are equally capable, there is nothing that can stop you from achieving what you want to achieve, people fall in line. And I have always experienced that, even in my study days or my college days, as well as when I stepped into industrial automation field. Even when I started the company, initially I have had experiences where customers would start talking to my male colleague if we went for a meeting, and they would think that this is the guy who knows everything and I should be talking to this person and not to this lady. But then the only way to change their opinion is by your own knowledge and your skill and your managerial abilities. That's only your work speaks, nothing else. So I have always lived by this, and I would say to all the ladies, and the point which Jaya made, that women are afraid to come back because they don't think they will fit, or they don't think they have enough support from their family and whatnot. So I would like to say that women who want to come back should have their own goals and own priorities right. You decide what you want to do and you go on that path. If you are firm about your convictions, then you can always find the way out of any situation. And once your family is also aware that yes, this person wants to do ABC, and she is convinced about it, then they will also support most of the cases, I would say, right? But at the same time, I would also say that uh, uh, don't be one end or the other. I mean, have the right balance, right? Because your family also needs you, and all of us know that we have been, I mean, we are all mothers, and now I'm even a grandmother. So the family needs us, and when the family needs us, when you are with the family, you are with the family. I never brought work from office to home, except in last 2 years when the home became the office. But otherwise, as a rule, never brought work. So dedicate your 100% energy and focus on to what you are doing. Be it work, then do the work. When you are with family, be with the family. So this way you can get a right balance and decide your own I would say thresholds. No two people are same. So if I have the ability to work for 10 years, 10 hours a day, you may have the ability to work for 4 hours a day. That's your threshold, and just decide that and make others respect that threshold. So that way your confidence will go up, your conviction will go up, and everybody will follow. So that's
Fantastic.
my two bits about it.
Fantastic, fantastic way of putting as to how do we look at gender and not really get discouraged by what we really do. And I think when we speak about gender at workplace, one very important thing that I found about Sujita is her passion for travel. And she's always been passionately talking about the fact that it's important for women to travel. And I think that's a huge kind of a barrier with many families where people are really not very comfortable with women traveling. And unless she believes that unless you travel cross border, go to different countries, see what's happening around the world, you really cannot grow as a professional. So, Cheta, what are your views and why do you think this is important for a woman to grow and to progress in life?
Sure. So I think I urge every woman, and not only women, every man and women to travel extensively, travel as much as you can, travel for pleasure, travel for work. Always try to work outside your hometown and native place, outside your state, outside your country, because that gives you tremendous exposure. Tremendous exposure. Second important thing is it completely changes your outlook towards things. You become more, you become very acceptive, open, receptive, and your way of looking at things change. You become very adaptive. I have never worked on two projects which were similar. If you see my whole career and all the projects, no two projects I have done are similar. They are not in the same country. They are not in the same city. They are very, very different cultures. So, and traditionally, women are not encouraged to travel. They're not encouraged to travel alone. There are many women who want to prefer job in their hometown. They want to stay protected under their parents, father or husband. And I think that restricts their growth, their thinking, their exposure. I think you should travel alone, travel independently, and, stay alone for some time. It is very important. And, with respect to data also, we were discussing it completely. It helps you a lot in your work, even in data science, even in analytics. I'll give you some very, very interesting examples. You know, how travel has given me so much of exposure to culture, beliefs, socio-economic conditions of that city or country, and how it is important in data science, in analytics, in data engineering, in treating the data. You know, very common example is age. You will see age is a very common data in any of the data set. Do you all know that in Korea, when you are born, your age is 1? By default, in Korea, your age starts with 1, not 0. Okay, now imagine if you are doing data processing and you have a Korean data set and you are doing average, you are doing mean, median, mode. How will it impact?
Sure.
Right? You go to Japan, there are lot of people above 100 age. It's very common. So age above 100 is not an outlier in Japan. In IIT-CTC, there was a news, there was a one person, 101-year-old, he could not travel because the portal did not have an option to accept age above 100. Okay, very, very, very interesting stories, you know, gesture control. Computer vision and gesture control is now so common, right? So, you know, we, in India, we do this is yes and this is no, right? We have this habit of saying yes. And whenever I used to travel to US, I was attending one meeting and there was one very senior vice president from Microsoft. He walked down to me and he said, I don't understand your idiosyncrasies. You seem to be agreeing, but you say this. What is this? I'm not aware of this gesture. This is yes and this is no. What is this? I said, this is special Indian, you know, and this is important. If you are doing gesture control, you know, these things are important. Driverless cars, right? A driverless car trained on American data will fail in German data. There is a research, right? So these are like cultural beliefs and, you know, socio-economic, even customs, right? Simple thing. This in India means different. Some other country it is, you know, avoided, to be avoided using this symbol. So these things you learn, you know, you learn. And I have amazing stories about, you know, my travel, and I feel that every woman should travel. We have all WITS community here. I always tell them travel, travel, travel.
Great. Great insight for women today. I think we've had a great, vibrant discussion from three vibrant ladies who made it in life, and they've been able to guide us in terms of why data science, why education in data science, what kind of careers could you really take up in data science, how do you grow in your career in data science. And before we part, quick 30 seconds from each one of them, one lesson that they want to give to women. 30 seconds for three of you.
Hello. I have always a message for women with all the discussions, with what Sujata said, with what Sucheta said. Remember, this thing is that be empowered, get involved, and you can do it. Then sky is only the limit. That's the message. Thank you.
Yeah, I think the biggest power a woman has is, you know, upbringing of her, you know, family and children. And I think this is a huge change. This is not a small change. You know, we have deep social conditioning. And if she brings a male child in a right way, brings up, half of the problems will be solved. That is the biggest power she has.
Wow, that's fantastic.
You know, she needs to bring, you know, we train girls, but I think we need to train men. We need to involve men in everything and bring up men in such a way so that they can work and live with empowered women.
Absolutely great message. Sujata, your 30 seconds for the audience.
Yeah, so very interesting thoughts, both Jaya and Suchita, and bringing up one male child and bringing them up right is really good. So what I would like to say is, my message would be comfortable in who you are. You know, first make peace with yourself. Don't get bogged down by the, you know, different people's different expectations that you have, and follow your passion. Make the choices. You have all the freedom to make choices, so make the choices based on your passion and be comfortable with who you are.
Thank you so much. That was really very useful. I think the end is the icing on the cake for today's discussion. I think all the women, all the men who are listening to this discussion today are
really excited to become very, very great working professionals to take India to next heights. I thank you all the audience and especially the three panelists who have made it possible for this panel discussion today. We have Jaya, we have Sujata, we have Sucheta with us. And thank you, Naval Gunkar sir, for giving me this opportunity to anchor this beautiful session and knowing these three great women. And I'm really, really grateful to C4I4 for this great opportunity and program, and hope to make this day memorable every year coming, starting 14 February, Valentine's Day, to become a Data Science Day for women. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you all the audience. Thank you so much.
Yes, thanks everyone. And I feel bad that I cannot be there in person, but well, can't help it. And hope to meet you all once I'm back in India.
So, thank you, Dr. Palkar. Thank you for here. So, firstly, let me say that today in the audience, at least here, I can see that we are equal. So, at least that is the one good part. Okay. So, first of all, thank the three of you, Jaya, Sujata, and Sucheta. So, and I really we feel really proud that you are here at our and you accepted our request. So that is one. I'll just go back to a story that 2003 I was in I was working for a company and I went to Singapore headquarters for another supplier of ours. This was about a company which was supplying some parts to us, and I happened to meet a lady there. Her name was Mrs. Deshpande. Okay, let me say that. And I felt that in Singapore you are meeting someone with Marathi name. So my colleagues said that should we talk to her in Marathi? I said I don't know whether she'll like it or not, but let's try. First question he asked, and which actually was very offensive. I felt that day afterwards. Sahib आहेत का? So he wanted to ask whether any of your senior colleague is there. Okay. So she said, Sahib आहेत का? I mean, she as if she doesn't understand Marathi. So she asked. And then, so I was feeling a little awkward. And then I said, no, we are here from India and we came here to meet you for this and that. And I'm telling you this because I've gone through this experience. Okay. It so happened that she turned out to be Asia Pacific head for the company. Okay, that is one part. Second part was that okay, she was Maharashtrian, no doubt. Then she said that look, we are here like customer and supplier. Okay, you are here as a professional. Apart from you, there are Chinese coming in, Malay coming in, or any of the other Asian countries people walk in. And we don't talk to them in their language, and we are not expected to. So best is like we communicate in a language which we both understand, which is English. So we should speak in English. And it was really harsh on our part also to ask that question. Okay, that is it. Second thing, she said that let's keep our Indianness aside for a moment. Just focus that we're two individuals talking to each other. That is second. Third, there is no Sahib. I'm the boss. Okay. And she said that with so much of affirmation. You know, and after all that meeting got over, 1 o'clock she said, "Pitla vakri khaila ghari yenar ka." I mean, that was also nice. So she was a boss there and she was a good host also. So there is actually, to be very frank with you, we go with some preconceived notions and we should not have those notions. And that is where we felt that. And even with, we started C4I4, I think, so by 60% staff was ladies. Okay, that I must say that. Okay, over a period of time because a couple of them got married or somebody shifted out of Pune and many things happened. But we always have been trying to see that in this data science or automation area, girls, ladies join our journey, and that is what. And we wanted that to because ultimately we are doing some innovations, and that is where we will be looking at. Anyway, that's a little bit from my side personally. So I must thank Dr. Palkar madam because she guided us through organizing this whole event for last almost like 1 week. We kept ourselves busy because of a lot of protocol issues, but then she knew probably how to manage it, and she knew that we can't handle this also. So that's another thing. So I know few areas I also would like to surrender that okay, these are things which are not our. So that is one. I must thank Sujata because we kept you awake till late, and I mean, I'm feeling a little awkward also that at right point of time our the audio system couldn't work, so we couldn't connect with you when actually we were supposed to connect with you. But that's okay. I think we also have the. We are also learning from this. We are definitely going to meet you after you arrive here in India in April sometime, and we definitely would love to see you here. So with this, I thank the WITS team also for being here, and you please take a look at the kind of work we do. If there is any way that you could connect with us, or we could try and explore some of the things together, we'll love to definitely look at this. I also want to thank Dr. Bhalwankar because he runs a company called Twin Engineers, and one good part about is he's also associated with Leela Poonawalla Foundation. Okay, and couple of and he's been very regularly. And first time when I saw with you Palak and other two, I felt that he's doing something unique. He's getting some trained girls from Leela Poonawalla Foundation, training them on how to work in business. And see, these are some of the stories which at his company, Twin Engineers, he's doing it with a lot of passion and this thing. His daughter, again, for me, a lot of inspiration because a very young person, enthusiastically running the business. And these are a few things which we need to learn. And that is where I felt that it's a point of celebration. Instead of 11th February, we took a chance to do it on 14th February because, of course, reasons beyond our control. So I thank everyone. Bilal and Shalaka, I think you did a marvelous job organizing this whole thing. And I should thank you. And Amrish, your team also, we did a great work. So thank you all for coming in. Let's interact, connect again. And that's how. Thank you again.